Nobody saw this coming, not the fans, nor the cast, and certainly not Rasheeda. In the most recent jaw-dropping episode of Love and Hip Hop, things took a dark, unexpected turn when murmurs surfaced became full-blown discoveries. The drama that occurred on film left viewers dumbfounded as one name fell. A kid, a child Kirk allegedly kept concealed. And the moment the truth started to emerge, the tension within the room might have broken glass. Producers sought to deflect the subject elsewhere. Cast members shuffled uneasily in their chairs. Harm had been done. One castmate, plainly fed up, finally voiced what everyone others was scared to. "You honestly thought this secret would remain hidden forever?" gasped. Stillness, then mayhem. The most surprising moment wasn't the announcement, but Rasheeda's face. Her whole countenance froze, and the room zoomed in, capturing that brief second of grief. Fans watching from home expressed their shock on social media, with one person writing, "Please tell me this isn't happening." Yet it was, and this was only the beginning. What occurs next will make you doubt all you thought you knew about Kirk, Rasheeda, and the reality behind their so-called love story. Kirk Frost's life had reached a point of total turmoil. What had began as a typical day suddenly became a controversy that would upset not just his family, but the whole entertainment business. When the truth about his hidden kid was uncovered, everything changed. The news of Kirk's secret child broke in front of millions, and the person who most impacted was none other than his wife, Rasheeda. This unexpected revelation sent ripples of bewilderment through everyone. What followed was a series of events that no one saw coming. Rasheeda, a lady who had spent her whole life, Kirk was left in complete shock and astonishment when she realized the truth. Her world, which she believed was solid and founded on trust, started to shatter right before her eyes. She couldn't believe that her husband, the man she had supported for years, had been keeping such a significant secret from her. Her emotions ran wild, and it was evident to everyone that this was the most terrible blow of her life. The other hand felt imprisoned. With the news now out in the open, there was no way to erase the damage. He had always imagined that he could prevent this secret from coming to light, but now with Rasheeda staring at him with hurtful eyes, confused, he had no option but to face the music. "Rasheeda, it's not what you think," he cried, trying to explain himself. "I never wanted you to find out. This way, it's complex, and I didn't know how to tell you." But Rasheeda, wounded by the treachery, couldn't keep back her feelings. "Call this you have a kid, a hidden child, and you've been concealing it from me all this time." Her voice quivered with rage and amazement, her eyes welling up with tears. "Kirk, after all we've gone through, you withheld this from me." Her words ripped through the air as Kirk stood there powerless with no reaction, argument that could make the situation any better. The truth was, there was nothing he could say to undo the harm he had caused. The revelation didn't only affect Kirk and Rasheeda. Shockwaves across the whole cast and crew. Jasmine Blue, a crucial part of the program, was one of the first to remark on the issue. Jasmine is recognized for her "honestly, I'm not shocked," she remarked. "I always sensed something wasn't right. It was only a matter of time until this came out." Jasmine's revelation shocked everyone. The way she talked so matter-of-factly made it appear as if she had it created even more doubts. Had she been aware of this secret for a long time? And if so, why hadn't she revealed anything sooner? Meanwhile, the fans blaming Ibra for the new drama flocked to social media in droves. Twitter was inundated with replies. Many fans expressed amazement and fury. One fan, "If this is true, Kirk will have a lot to explain to his family. They deserve better." Another fan added, "This isn't just about the show anymore, it's about real life. Kirk has a lot to answer for." The response on social media was intense, and it was evident that the story was spreading like wildfire. Kirk felt the weight of his secret being revealed and couldn't help but wonder if things would have gone out differently. If he had informed Rasheeda sooner, maybe I should have told her, he thought to himself. Maybe I should have come clean, but I was afraid of how she would respond. Did not want to lose her. As the days passed, Rasheeda tried to digest what had occurred. Her world had been destroyed, and she didn't know how to go on. She kept repeating the scenes in her mind, trying to grasp how had her husband hidden such a significant secret from her. She pondered, why didn't he trust me enough to share this with me? The emotional toll on Rasheeda was evident. She was heartbroken, furious, and bewildered all at once. She felt betrayed by the one person she trusted the most. She had always thought that she and Kirk were partners, that they were a team. But suddenly, everything seemed like a lie. I don't know how to look at him the same way again, she confessed to a close friend. Kirk, despite the enormous remorse he felt, realized he had to try to make things right. He went out to Rasheeda, attempting to explain his actions. Rasheeda, please, he implored. I know I messed up, I know I hurt you, but I need you to understand that I never meant to harm you. This whole situation is confusing, and I didn't know how to repair it, but Rasheeda was not ready to hear him out. No, Kirk, she screamed. You don't get to make excuses. You've been keeping this from me for years, and now I have to deal with the repercussions. I suppose I can simply forgive you for this. The tension between them was apparent, and it was clear that things would never be the same. The couple's relationship had been tested in ways it had never been before, and the journey recovery seemed lengthy and unclear as additional facts of the incident began to surface. Jasmine, who had been open about her opinions on the subject, proceeded to stir the pot. She claimed to have known about the hidden kid long before it was discovered, and she even went so far as to say that Kirk had been concealing more than just one secret. There is more to this than just the youngster, Jasmine indicated. Trust me, you guys have no clue what's really going on behind the scenes. Her words drove fans into a frenzy. What more secrets Kirk hiding? What else had been kept from the public view? The drama involving Kirk and Rasheeda was far from done, and it seemed that there were more disclosures on the horizon. But for now, Kirk and Rasheeda were at a crossroads. The future of their relationship hung in the balance, and no one knew what would happen next. Will they be able to work through this and repair their marriage, or is this the end of the road for them? The days after Kirk's secret kid was revealed were packed with a rush of emotions. The family, viewers, and everyone engaged in the drama were attempting to digest what had just transpired. For Kirk and Rasheeda, the weight of the secret was now too heavy to ignore. Kirk, who had previously been the cornerstone of Rasheeda's universe, now stood before her as a stranger, a man she could no longer trust. The discovery had broken away the basis of their marriage, and now everything was hanging in the balance. Kirk's guilt was stifling. He attempted to find the appropriate words to apologize to Rasheeda, but every time he opened his lips, it felt like the space between them became even wider. The damage was done. He could see it in her eyes, the sorrow, anger, and disbelief. She had every right to be upset, but Kirk couldn't help but worry if things would ever be the same. Could his marriage survive something like this? Meanwhile, Rasheeda was dealing with her own feelings. She was furious, sad, and devastated all at once. She had given so much of herself to Kirk, and now she felt betrayed in the worst manner. How could you do this to me, Kirk? She asked, her voice trembling with emotion. How could you keep something so significant from me? I trusted you. Rasheeda's comment struck Kirk like a punch in the stomach. He had never seen her like this before. She was a strong woman who had always been by his side no matter what. But suddenly, in the aftermath of the betrayal, she was devastated. He could see the sorrow in her eyes, and it was painful. Rasheeda, I never intended for this to happen. He said, his voice barely above a whisper. I never wanted to harm you. I was terrified. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I could shield you from all of this. But Rasheeda wasn't buying it. She wasn't interested in excuses anymore. She had heard enough. You think you can protect me by withholding the truth from me, keeping me in the dark all these years? She shook her head, her wrath growing. No, Kirk, this isn't about protection, it's about treachery. The weight of the issue became evident to everyone involved as it got more heated. Fans were also waiting with held breath to see what would happen next. The story had gone global, and everyone had an opinion. Social media was swamped with comments, jokes, and emotions from fans who couldn't believe what they were watching. Some were Team Kirk, praising his behavior and arguing that he should be given a chance to redeem himself. Solidly on Rasheeda's side, expressing their fury at Kirk's falsehoods and deception, One fan wrote, "Kirk can't come back from this. He lost all credibility with Rasheeda and the fans. He's done." Another fan commented, "Rasheeda deserves more than this. She's already gone through so much. This is too much for her. Handle." Rasheeda received tremendous support, and it was evident that the public was not sympathetic to Kirk's, but Kirk wasn't the only one feeling the heat. Jasmine Blue, who had been vociferous about the matter from the beginning, was suddenly finding herself at the focus of even more controversy. After hinting at knowing more about the secret kid, she continued dropping further bombshells that stunned fans. "You think this is the worst of it?" Jasmine hinted during an interview. "You have no clue what's really happening on behind the scenes. Kirk's life is more than simply a kid. There are secrets that know." Jasmine's cryptic remarks stoked the fires of conjecture. Fans were now wondering what else Kirk had been concealing. What other secrets did he have? Was there more drama in store for Rasheeda? The tension Rasha was battling to hold it together as the betrayal weighed heavily on her and made it impossible for her to focus on anything. She spent most of her days in seclusion trying to comprehend the agony. The love she had previously had for Kirk was now tainted with bitterness, and she didn't know if she could ever look at him the same. Rasheeda revealed to her closest friends, "I don't even know who you are anymore. The man I thought I knew was gone. All of this has shattered everything." Despite her anguish, she felt she needed to make some choices. She couldn't keep living in limbo. Unable to trust her own spouse, she started to doubt everything about her connection with him, future, and the life she had made with Kirk. "What sort of life is this?" she questioned aloud. "Can I ever trust him again?" As the days went by, the repercussions intensified. The media was relentless, scrutinizing every step Kirk and Rasheeda did. The drama became a hot issue, and people couldn't get enough of it. Kirk's feeling besieged started to out to his family and friends for assistance. "I need help," he confided to a close friend. "I don't know how to repair this. I've made a major mistake and now everything is falling apart." But the path Rasheeda was still digesting her feelings, and she wasn't ready to forgive Kirk just yet. She knew that trust couldn't be restored overnight, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to try at all. "You've done too much damage," she remarked one day, her voice shaking with passion. "I don't know if I'll ever forgive you." Kirk was left with the harsh reality. The woman he loved, the woman he had spent so many years with, was doubting everything. The future of their relationship was doubtful, and Kirk didn't know whether he could make things right. He had lost Rasheeda's confidence, and now he had to deal with the repercussions. As the drama progressed, additional revelations surfaced that added Kirk's hidden kid was merely the tip of the iceberg. As more individuals probed into his background, more secrets appeared to emerge. What more was Kirk concealing, and how far would Rasheeda go? To unearth the truth, the emotional roller coaster was far from done. With each new revelation, the stakes rose greater. Would Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage survive this scandal, or was this the end of their journey together? Friends, family, and the media alike were all on edge waiting for the next twist in this epic drama. As the dust started to clear, Kirk found himself stranded in a storm of public scrutiny. The hidden kid was only the beginning of his issues, and he quickly understood that the media was not going to let him off the hook anytime soon. The stories continued swirling, each one more sensational. Rasheeda's confidence, the fundamental cornerstone of their marriage, had been destroyed, and the emotional harm was far from healed. Rasheeda's grief seemed to intensify with the exposure. She spent sleepless nights mulling over every event in her memory, wondering how she had missed all the indications and allowed herself to be so surprised by her emotions were overpowering. And even though she had always been a strong woman, she felt like she was losing herself. The truth of her predicament was difficult to grasp. The guy she loved the most, the father of her children, had lied to her for years, keeping the mystery of another kid concealed. "I gave you everything, Kirk," she wept at him in one of their rare but passionate discussions. "I supported you. I built with you, and you done this to me. I don't even know you anymore." The wrath in her voice was clear, but it was tainted with the profound grief that cut through her words. Kirk was now yearning for an opportunity for atonement was torn. He wanted to explain and apologize to Rasheeda's eyes remained icy, and he didn't know how he could put things right. The words ripped through him like a blade. His sorrow for abandoning her was immense, but he also knew that no amount of apologies could restore the harm he had caused. He had irreversibly destroyed something, and the person I didn't want to hurt you. Rasheeda, Kirk stated in his voice. I believe I could protect myself by keeping it from you, barely audible and full of remorse. Rasheeda responded sharply, with a trace of bitterness in her tone. Protect me by lying to me and making choices without my knowledge. Possibly protect me, Kirk. I deserve more than this. Her comments sounded like smack in the face, but Kirk knew they were true. He had failed her in the worst conceivable manner, and he couldn't change the past. And the path ahead appeared grim. As years passed, the fissures in their relationship as the emotional barrier between them widened, Rasheeda started to retreat. Emotionally, she spends more time with her friends and family, hoping to find solace and strength in those who she was no longer the same lady who remained with Kirk through thick and thin. She had changed. Rasheeda's inner suffering intensified the public backlash, which continued to grow. The media had picked up on the matter, and articles started coming Kirk's way. The secret kid was a popular issue, but people began to demand additional information. What was the age of this kid, and why had Kirk kept them concealed for so long? These questions tormented Kirk, and the pressure from the media was enormous. Everyone wanted answers, but no one could. Jasmine Blue is much more needy for them than Rasheeda. Decided to come out again, heating up the fire even more. This time, she claimed to have knowledge on the child's mother, a lady who had apparently been in a covert relationship with Kirk for years. Kirk has been leading a double life, as Jasmine suggested during a live interview. He doesn't only have this, but there's a whole secret connection that no one knew about. Jasmine's admissions were explosive, stated that Kirk had a long-term affair with the mother of his kid, and Rasheeda had never known. She further hinted at a history in which Kirk had kept this connection concealed from everyone, even his closest friends. The story spread like wildfire, and fans went crazy trying to find out, what is Jasmine speaking the truth or simply creating more drama? Fans inquired on social media, could Kirk really have been living a double life all this time? The question seemed infinite, and the anticipation was in everyone involved. Rasheeda couldn't help but feel deceived on a deeper level. Kirk had concealed his kid from her, and now she was learning about the suspected affair. The sorrow of this unexpected discovery was nearly too much for her to endure. It seemed like her whole world was falling around her, piece by piece. Every time she believed she had a grasp on the problem, another stunning revelation was revealed. I don't even know whether I can't look at him anymore, Rasheeda remarked in a private talk with her sister. This is about everything he has been concealing from me. He has lied to me for years, and now I am questioning everything. Her sister, who had been there through the ups and downs of Rasheeda's marriage, was at a loss for words. She understood Rasheeda was tough, but even the strongest lady had her breaking point. Rasheeda, you need to take care of, she softly stated. You can't keep living like this. You need to think about what's best for you right now, for your own peace of mind. Rasheeda did not know what to believe anymore. She felt deceived, bewildered, and totally heartbroken. The guy she had trusted with her heart, the man she had loved and created a life with, had turned out to be someone altogether different. The secrets, lies, and betrayals were all too. While Rasheeda was trying to deal with the facts, Kirk was still attempting to repair what was remained of their relationship. He made many efforts to reach out. He sent her messages, called her, and even showed up at her place, but each time Rasheeda was not ready to speak to him and was greeted with frigid silence. Confront the guy who had flipped her life upside down. I just need you to understand, Rasheeda, Kirk remarked during one of their furious arguments was, I screwed up, I know I did, but I'm asking for opportunity to make things right. I love you and I want to repair this. Rasheeda shook her head. Tears in her eyes. Kirk, you can't heal what's broken between. This is more than just you and me. It's about trust, and that's something. As the story unfolded, viewers were left with more questions than answers. Will Kirk ever be able to redeem himself? Would Rasheeda find a way to get beyond the betrayal? Was this the last chapter in their marriage? The emotional roller coaster was far from ended, and with each new revelation, the stakes increased. The media proceeded to follow every twist and turn, and the public's response remained mixed. Some admirers were still holding out, some hoped for a reunion, but others thought Rasheeda deserved more than Kirk's deceit. The quiet between them was tangible, and nobody knew where the tale would go next. After several unanswered calls and unwanted texts, Kirk sat alone in his vehicle, parked only a few streets from Rasheeda's business, hoping to get a sight of her, even if just from afar, but she didn't appear, neither that day or the next. It was as if retreated inside a shell created out of sadness, hate, and betrayal. No one blamed her. Inside her house, Rasha was attempting to digest the avalanche of emotions kept slamming over her. Her mother had come to stay with her briefly in order to help support, but even that was tough. "You ought to leave him for good," her mother advised one evening over dinner. "Rasheeda has showed you who he really is, hiding a kid." Rasheeda glanced up, her eyes weary and puffy from not sleeping. "Evenings I don't know, mother, maybe everything. Maybe I don't know this guy." Those remarks stayed in the room long after they were said. Rasheeda was the scariest thing, not the child or the treachery, but the frightening concept that the guy she made a life with was a stranger wearing a familiar face, but the universe wasn't. Rasheeda was starting to explore treatment and even possibly separation. Another bombshell struck Jasmine Blue, who seemed yearning for more attention or even retribution, posted a series of mysterious articles online. Screenshots of earlier messages, photos, and hazy papers started to fill her account. While most of them were untidy and indistinct, one picture stuck out. According to the birth certificate, the father's name is Kirk Frost, although the mother's name was not Jasmine. Fans were startled. Was this another child? Another lady? The internet erupted with ideas. Who was this mystery mother? Kirk fathered yet another kid behind Rasheeda's back, and the strain intensified. People filled the comment sections of both Kirk and Rasheeda's social media profiles, demanding answers and tossing insults. Some accused Jasmine of falsifying the paper, while others. In the meanwhile, Kirk was spinning. He hastened to speak with Jasmine when the first secret was revealed. He needed to contact his legal team to find out whether there was another kid, but deep down anxiety grabbed him. Because he recalled that night, which happened over a decade ago in Miami, he was inebriated, alone, and vulnerable during the music event. And he did recall that Tamara, the lady, had been a promotion. She was smart and ambitious. Gorgeous, they had a short affair, nothing more, or so he believed. Had she actually had his kid and never informed him, or was this Jasmine playing some sick game? Connect Kirk went out to Tamara. To his amazement, she said, "I was wondering when you called." Her voice was almost too calm. "Is this true?" Kirk, without making any small conversation, I inquired, "Is that a child?" "Mine?" Tamara paused. She gently answered, "Yes. I tried to tell you once years ago, but you were married, and when I saw you were not interested, I went away." Kirk's stomach sank. Had nothing more to say. The quiet stretched forever until Tamara eventually broke it. "His name is Kevin. He's 12 now and has been asking about you," as if the earth underneath Kirk had given way. Everything went apart again. Another kid, another secret, another betrayal. Add to the list, and this time it wasn't only Rasheeda who would be affected. Kevin, a child, had no clue his father was a prominent figure entangled in a controversy. Kirk realized he needed to inform Rasheeda not just about the kid, but also about his background. Errors fully, honestly, and without excuses. He couldn't bear the weight of this was crushing him, and Rasheeda had already started filming her sequences for the upcoming season of the program. Producers had received wind of the latest findings and cameras were rowing to catch every raw moment. She didn't hold back. First, it was Jasmine. Tamara said in a confessional, "How many more women are going to come out of the shadows? How many more children does Kirk have? I'm not only sad, but also ashamed and outraged." Her Carly Red arrived to her residence with tears in her eyes and a cry. "Girl, I don't know what to say anymore," Carly exclaimed. "This is beyond anything I've seen. Kirk is out here constructing a complete basketball team behind your back." Rasheeda mustered a giggle that soon turned into a sob. "I just want peace, Carly. I simply want the truth about everything. No more surprises." Within days of Kirk reaching out to Tamara publicly, the unexpected continued. After pictures of Tamara and Kevin leaked, Kirk was now Rasheeda is officially classified as a serial cheater and the hidden family guy in newspapers. Even her boutique clients murmured behind her back. Strangers looked when she went grocery shopping. Commerce, the treachery had become public, and her humiliation was now part of the inner. "Keep our family together," she told them. "But I don't want you two to believe this is how love should be." Her oldest son nodded gently. "We love you, Mom, and we have your back." Regardless, it meant more to her than Kirk's apologies. But despite everything, Kirk was not ready to lose up. He sought a meeting with Rasheeda, no cameras, no producers, just the two of them. She hesitantly consented. Met at a quiet park near their house where the air was heavy with uncomfortable tension. "I'm not here to defend myself," Kirk stated with averted eyes. "I'm here to tell you the truth. The full truth. I have another kid. Kevin is 12 years old. I didn't know until last week, although real." Rasheeda blinked, the words striking her like a blow. She stood transfixed. "I can't do this," she muttered. "Kirk, I thought Jasmine was at rock bottom. This is a whole new level." "I know," Kirk responded. "I know I've wounded you. I can't change anything, but he's my kid, and he deserves to know me." On one side, a guy anxious to make atonement. On the other, a lady, torn into shreds by recurrent betrayal. It was no longer only about forgiving. It was about what Rasheeda was ready to tolerate and how much more she could take before walking away for good. They sat in stillness, with the wind rustling through the trees. They both knew that whatever happened next would alter everything. Rasheeda sat on the frigid park seat, looking forward as Kirk moved. Uncomfortably alongside her, the stillness between them was not peaceful. Was dense, oppressive, and noisy with words none of them could say anymore. Kirk had revealed everything, at least what she knew about for now, but something within Rasheeda wouldn't let her find closure. Maybe not yet. She turned to him slowly, her voice gentle yet piercing. "Do you comprehend that? Every time I forgave you, I lost a bit of myself." Kirk's head sank. Couldn't answer that honestly. He'd spent years fooling himself he was, protecting her by concealing his errors. But now that all has been revealed, he knew the harm he'd done wasn't just to their relationship, but to her entire soul. "I want you to meet Kevin," Kirk said slowly. "I don't want to conceal him as I did before. He deserves a he is genuine, and you deserve to know him." Rasha gave a sour laugh. "Want me to meet the kid you produced when you were supposed to be creating a future with me?" "He did not ask for this," Kirk said slowly. "None of them did, and that was the part that hit hardest." Because Kirk wasn't wrong. The kids had no involvement in the falsehoods. They were only the innocent results of his irresponsible. Rasheeda wasn't ready to enter that world, at least not now. The wounds were too raw, and the treachery continued to bleed under the surface. Over the following 2 days, Kirk started posting carefully written remarks online, recognizing faults and apologizing without identifying names and attempting to mitigate the damage. But it was too little, too late. Fans saw straight through it, tore him apart, casting him as the greatest manipulator, online criticizing his apologies and bringing out his record of secrecy and deception. Meanwhile, Love and hip-hop producers had hit gold. The controversy had pushed ratings skyrocketed. They demanded more footage, drama, and grief. But Rasheeda wasn't playing along. "This time, I'm not a storyline," she replied sharply at a production meeting. "This is my life, and I'm not going to perform my agony for viewers." But producers weren't. They started contacting other cast members, spreading rumors and setting up confrontations. Tamara, Kevin's mother, was unexpectedly invited to come on the program. She first rejected, But the money was appealing, as was the thought of telling her kid the truth about his father on camera. She agreed under one condition: no artificial drama, just truth. When Kirk discovered out, he was outraged. Kirk yelled at producers, "This is not how I wanted him to be introduced to the world." Ken, not a headline, but it was already in motion. The cameras were rolling. Teasers were cut and fans were eating it up. Tamara and Kevin were set to step. Rasheeda was still reeling as she was thrust into the limelight, with no way out. I got a call from one of the producers. They said you should be there for the filming, even if you don't. It's crucial to talk. After a lengthy pause, she said, "I'll think about it." Kirk was noticeably apprehensive as he waited outside a little diner on the day of the shoot, which seemed weird. The meeting was set. Tamara came first, holding Kevin's hand. He was tall for his age, calm with eyes that recalled Kirk of his own childhood images. When their eyes met, Kirk froze. Nothing could properly prepare a boy to meet the father he never knew existed. As they sat down, Kirk gradually opened up. I didn't know," he replied. Kevin glanced at him for a long time before saying, "Why didn't he do everything differently?" "Stay with my mother." A question so straightforward, honest, and yet so painful. Kirk paused. "I was married," he continued. "I made a lot of errors, but it wasn't about you. That was about me not being the guy I should have been." Kevin nodded, not entirely comprehending, but experiencing the remorse. Kirk's voice off camera. Rasheeda stood at a distance, observing through the window. She decided to attend, even though she wasn't sure why. Maybe to see the boy. Maybe to see whether Kirk really meant what he said. Perhaps because a tiny shattered part of her still wanted to believe. As she watched Kirk and Kevin, tears welled up in her eyes, not because she forgiven him or wanted him back, but because she saw something genuine, something human. And she recalled that regardless how badly someone damaged you, if they were really trying, they deserved a moment of grace. Did not imply reconciliation. When Kirk subsequently approached her in the parking lot, she stood erect with her arms crossed. "You did good in there," she added. "He's a wonderful child." "Thank you for coming," Kirk said. "I wasn't sure whether you'd come for me, but she emphasized that I did." Kirk nodded, knowing what I had asked for. "Too many opportunities. I just hope someday you can see me trying instead of simply remembering." Rasheeda groaned. "We'll see, Kirk, but we're not there yet. Maybe we never will be." With that, she walked away without looking back. After the season of the program ended shooting, editors put together the most dramatic plot. Love and hip-hop had fans excitedly awaited the launch, while insiders whispered that Rasheeda may finally be going away for good. Her store was prospering, boys were growing, and for once she was selecting herself. Kirk, on the other hand, was beginning anew, not only with Kevin, but with himself. Therapy sessions were less public, appearances and more time with his children. Whether this would be enough to rehabilitate his reputation was still uncertain. This time, he wasn't attempting to build a narrative. He was simply trying to be a better guy. As for Kevin's tale was only starting, but it would forever be tied to a father he